Good morning and welcome to your first news bulletin right here on TV3. We are coming to you live from our studios at Adesawe Kanda. We are also streaming live on Facebook at TV3 Ghana. My name is Safwa Boahini. The news bulletin starts now. IGP Dr. Kufu Dampare says Election Security Task Force will be ruthless to enforce public order and rule of law during December 7 elections. Supreme Court set December 18 to deliver judgment on the human sexual rights and family values suit after over 8 months of court hearings. Also coming up, latest strike by Tewu beginning to have a toll on some senior high schools as kitchen staff abandon their post. These details and many more coming up shortly. Please do stay with us. We begin with the Election Command Center, where we bring you all the credible news updates in the world of politics. Let's move to our first story now. And the opposition NDC says it will petition the IGP and the Chief of Defense Staff to investigate alleged plots by the NPP to rig the December elections through Central Commanding Officer Brigadier General Michael Opoku. At a news conference, the party said its intelligence had uncovered actionable plans to cause chaos during the general elections.
According to the NDC, Brigadier General Michael Opoku's promotion from the rank of colonel despite masterminding the Ayawasu Wogon by-election violence is evidence of the government's sinister ploy. They allege his appointment to head the Central Command is a deliberate plan by the NPP to rig votes in the Ashanti region.
In his current position, Brigadier General Opoku has been mandated by President Akufo-Addo to take charge of a well-crafted scheme that has been designed by the NPP to rig the upcoming elections, particularly in the Ashanti region. Through ballot stuffing, swapping of ballot boxes, swapping of pink sheets, and other clandestine activities, starting with a special voting exercise scheduled for December 2nd of this year.
For the opposition party, Brigadier General Michael Opoku must be removed from office.
Given his history, we in the NDC call for his immediate removal from his position as General Officer Commanding of the Central Command. And miscreants like that should not be allowed anywhere near the security architecture for the impending 2024 general elections. The NDC wishes to serve notice, and notice is hereby served, to Brigadier General Michael Opoku and his ilk in the New Patriotic Party, that we have them under our radar.
The party says it will petition the Asantehene Otumfuo Osei II, among other persons, for investigations to be conducted.
Otumfuo Osei II, we will officially draw his attention to these developments because the headquarters of the operation of this guy is Kumasi. And I know that the Otumfuo cherishes the peace that the people of Kumasi and the Ashanti region enjoy. And he will want to take an interest into this matter and call this guy to order. But not just him, our external developmental partners will also be notified. And so the observers will be notified, the foreign missions will be notified. That is not to say that we will stop at that. No, we are going into the election with all the necessary precautions. Like Azuma Nelson, we are going with our referee in our pockets. And what we will do to make sure that they don't succeed is not a matter for public consumption.
To the next story, and spokesperson of the National Chief Imam and a member of the Peace Council, Sheikh Karimi Al-Shaibu, is calling for the military to stay off election scenes to guarantee trust. Speaking on Ghana Tonight with Alfred Okanse, he said the police should take center stage in the elections to allow for a peaceful and transparent elections.
In fact, we have already spoken on behalf of the Chief Imam, calling on the police to be as professional as possible. The electoral security apparatus that has been put in place, we have been addressing them to maintain the highest standard of professionalism and make sure that the police are at the center. Unless it becomes necessary, the military will have to stay off the scene so that we can guarantee the trust that we all require to ensure that there is a certain integrity to the process. In fact, with the EC, we call on the EC also to maintain the highest standard of integrity, to ensure that the election processes are so credible, so transparent, to guarantee the peace that we all want. Even though assurances have been given earlier on, but that between now and 7th of December, we think more can be done to enhance. Like, for example, we have noticed that the serial numbering of the ballot boxes that were sent to Ahafo and Volta region have all been called back and have been destroyed. These are all steps to ensure that the process will be as credible as possible. Once the EC is doing this, we call on them to really go ahead and enhance the system, make it as transparent as possible, and make sure that also the playing ground is as fair and level, not to give undue advantage to any political party, regardless of whoever is the flag bearer or whoever is the parliamentary candidate.
Still on elections, and the Ghana Police Service has pledged to go after persons who engage in violent acts to destabilize the peace in the country during the December 7 elections. Inspector General of Police Dr. George Akufudampare says the Election Security Task Force will be ruthless if need be to enforce public order and rule of law.
A promise that will not be broken and a force that is determined to deliver on its mandate. The police say they will crack down on election offenders and persons who plan to destabilize the country during and even after the December 7 elections. With a high-level security detail in plan, the police say they may be ruthless in ensuring rule of law and public order.
We will engage where we want to engage. We will de-escalate where we want to de-escalate. But when we have to be ruthless in the enforcement of the law within the context of rule of law, we will stop at nothing. For how far can you run? For how long can you hide? Because we will not forget you. Because when we forget you, we give you the opportunity to come back and do the things that you do again. So as long as we have booked you in our records, that you are somebody we are looking for, we'll pursue you until we find you. Because we will not allow anybody, be it individual or a group, to disturb the peace of this country.
The Inspector General of Police is confident that the measures put in place, especially the election blueprint, will help to mainstream security in the polls. He highlighted a detailed deployment plan, assuring that the National Election Security Task Force is adequately ready to conduct the elections.
Using the same blueprint, the work we've done so far has led to the production of 5,400-page security deployment plan, covering every aspect of security for the elections. We, the security agencies, we are ready, well prepared. We do whatever it takes to protect the peace, security of this country.
Civil society organizations, including IDEC and the Civic Forum Initiative, are satisfied with the measures put in place by the police and other security agencies.
We want to assure our brothers and sisters Ghanaians that from our part, we are convinced that the police is prepared and willing to deliver their bit in security terms towards the peace and the success of our impending election.
The police have encouraged Ghanaians to go about their regular duties on the election day, pointing out the fact that collation centers would be secured from unlawful entry. Christian Yali, TV3 News, Police Headquarters, Accra.
On the campaign trail, flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, has promised the people of Ahafo southwest of extended electricity to communities in the area if voted into power. Addressing stakeholders, he appealed to the people to vote for him for this developmental project to take place.
Dr. Bawumia was welcomed by the chiefs, Muslim clerics and clergy into the constituency. Speaking to them, he promised to embark on developmental projects when voted into power.
Baba Avano Southwest, Abe Buakunta, Abe Chiremu, Kwaya Maye, Enyasa, Abe Chiremu schools are messy, Abe Chiremu electricity meaning say, Krobebri here electricity. Ewo constituency. Meba Abe Chire. Ejuma ayaye the electricity akomiamia bibri ho enti media minim se meba bebu akonta nti meyire me ho abo ejuma din amamo.
Later, the NPP flag bearer addressed party faithful at the Bawumia Connect. He said under his presidency, he will provide support for small-scale miners and ensure that they are well-resourced to help them do their work.
Bank bar for miners, Minerals Development Bank. A bank for miners, because muhia efidia mudibeye jumano bank no bema musikana mwato sa efidie no good mining equipment bank said ya agric development bank ama ikuafo no minerals development bank yedibeshishe ama small scale miners and miners in this country ya ne sanoa ebebua mu ejumano me pese muye millionaires. I want you to be millionaires.
To the NDC, and the NDC vice presidential candidate, Professor Jane Opoku-Agyeman, has called for change in government in December. She says Ghanaians should not allow the NPP to come back and continue to mess up with the economy. She was speaking during her first day of campaign in the Upper West region.
The NDC vice presidential candidates began her campaign in the Upper West region from the Wana's palace. The Wana, through her secretary, applauded the team for campaigning based on issues. He asked for the Wa municipality to be elevated to a metropolitan one if the NDC wins power in December. Professor Nana Jane Opoku-Agyeman noted their concerns, adding, the NDC is not like their opponents who refuse to send developments to areas that they do not win elections there. From here, the team proceeded to Koro and Hamele in the Lambuse constituency. Here, the parliamentary candidate, Professor Titus Bayo, assured the party that they will recapture the seat which was taken over by the NPP in 2020.
Opponents are always scared when we are united, and you can see the unity demonstrated here. We are having our two former MPs all present, and they are actively involved in the campaign and leading the campaign for us in the nook and cranny of this constituency. And that gives me confidence that we are certainly taking this seat back.
Professor Nana Jane stressed the need to change government this time around.
Any country, no matter what you have, if you don't train your youth properly, if you don't educate them well, somebody was saying, oh, if you cancel the double track, some children will not go to school. Said who? All the 350 schools they promised to build, we are waiting for them. Even those we started, they didn't finish. So my brothers, my sisters, my children, my friends, we have a chance now to change things. Yes, it's simple.
At London constituency, Professor Nana Jane and the team urged the people not to be deceived by goodies their opponents would offer them, but vote for John Mahama and the MDC parliamentary candidate, Richard Kuire. The team also campaigned in Laura constituency, asking the people to vote massively for the NDC for development. Evelyn Tenghar, TV3 News, Hamile.
Let's take you to the court now, and the Supreme Court has set December 18 to deliver judgment on the human sexual rights and family value suit after over 8 months of court hearing. Lord Edwasare Michael catalogues events that have preceded the case.
On February 28, 2024, Parliament passed the Human and Sexual Rights and Families Values Bill, also known as the Anti-LGBTQ bill, a bipartisan private members bill. The bill was subsequently forwarded to the president for assent. But on March 5, broadcast journalist and private legal practitioner Richard Delasky challenged the bill. He contended it violated Article 108 of the 1992 Constitution, which stipulates that any bill before Parliament which would have an impact on the Consolidated Fund should be introduced by or on behalf of the President. Another suit by researcher Dr. Amanda Odoi sought an injunction preventing Parliament from forwarding the bill to the President. In response, President Akufo-Addo, after receiving the bill, said he would not assent until the final determination at the Supreme Court. In July, while hearing the injunction application, the Apex Court deferred its decision to hear the substantive case. Upon resumption of the legal year in October, proponents of the bill, led by Member of Parliament for Ningo Pram, Samuel Nati George, took to the streets to protest the delays in the hearing of the cases. But the judiciary in response noted in a statement that the prolonged delays were as a result of the failures of the parties' filing processes required. In court on Tuesday, a 7-member panel of justices directed lawyers for the Attorney General and Speaker of Parliament to file their responses after granting the request of the plaintiff's lawyer to amend his statement of case. The court then adjourned proceedings to December 18 for the final determination. Lawyer for Richard Delasky, Pakwesi Abedu, expressed satisfaction with the development in court.
We have indicated that by Section 100, subsection 1 of that law, the financial impact assessment report should have been attached. Then we have gone further to show that by even a subsidiary legislation, and that is LI 1373, that report should have been attached, and Regulation 12 of that law, that report should have been attached. So the presiding justice of the Supreme Court said that in that regard, it would be good if we indicate it in our statement of case. And that is what we've been asked to do between today and 22nd. And we promise the whole nation that we will keep to that deadline.
If assented, the bill, which was fully supported by members of the House, will impose 3 years minimum jail term and 5 years maximum incarceration on those who engage in and promote homosexual activities in Ghana.
Lord Idwasari, TV3 News, Supreme Court, Accra.
Let's do some more stories. And the latest strike by the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEU, is beginning to have a toll on some senior high schools. A visit to a Brigel Senior High School reveals school authorities have had to find alternative means to feed their students as kitchen staff have gone on strike. Judith Brown, my colleague, reports. We will bring you the story later on, but let's move to Flower Port, where the President Akufo-Addo has commissioned the newly built Flower Port interchange near Spintex Road, Accra. Speaking during a ceremony, the President said his government has built more interchanges and flyovers than any government in history.
The flyover and motorway interchange project was designed to complement the newly completed underpass and serve as an alternate route for north-south movement. The project has undergone several revisions and now features an 802-meter span flyover starting at the Palace Mall off Sprinters Road and ending at Boundary Road in East Legon. Commissioning the project, the President branded himself as the master of interchanges among all other presidents.
This administration has constructed more roads and interchanges than any other in our nation's history. The Flower Port interchange is a legacy for future generations. I call on all Ghanaians to join hands in safeguarding this asset, ensuring that it serves its purpose. I also urge motorists to exercise caution. Let us prioritize safety, respect road regulations, and nurture a driving culture that reflects our aspirations as a nation.
The Greater Accra Regional Minister Titus Glover warned against putting up illegal structures around the interchange.
To the people of Greater Accra, this interchange stands as a symbol of progress and resilience. It is also a reminder that as we continue to build, innovate, and improve, we also share the responsibility to maintain and use these resources wisely.
Roads and Highways Minister is Francis Asensubote.
The flower pot interchange is therefore a comprehensive solution to these long-standing traffic challenges, providing relief from congestion that has plagued this location for years.
Other features of the flyover include ramps onto the motorway, improvement at the flower pot runabout approaches on Spintex Road, and access through the old tunnel to East Legon. New flyover is expected to reduce congestion at the flower pot intersection along Spintex Road and provide a direct route between Accra East, Burma Camp and its surrounding areas, and East Legon and vice versa. The project, however, is not fully completed as contractors are still on site working towards full completion.
Let's take you back to the story where the latest strike by the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, TEU, is beginning to have a toll on some senior high schools, and a visit to Ebri Girls Senior High School reveals school authorities have had to find alternative means to feed their students as kitchen staff have gone on strike. Judith Brown, my colleague, reports.
I'm currently here at the Ebri Girls Senior High School in the Eastern region, following an anonymous tip from a concerned parent over claims the students went without food on November 18 due to a strike by kitchen staff. While our investigations following interactions with some parents right here at the school revealed that indeed there was no food provided on the evening of the said date. A mother revealed that this affected only Form 2 students. But while we can confirm now that food has been made available for the students, it's still unclear the status of the strike action by kitchen staff in the school. Sources have also revealed that the kitchen staff are members of the Teachers and Educational Workers Union, which is currently on strike. TEU began its strike on November 18 in response to what they say is government's persistent failure to address long-standing concerns regarding their conditions of service. And with such an industrial action, it is clearly evident that the Ebri Girls Senior High School students are probably not the only ones bearing the brunt.
We contacted the Ghana Education Service on the matter, and although authorities are refusing to speak on camera, they tell me their officers have been sent on the ground to observe the situation in order to determine their next line of action.
For now, it is unclear how this strike will affect this and many other schools in the coming days. Judith Brown, TV3 News.
Yesterday marked World Toilet Day, and we shine the light on the critical importance of sanitation in promoting health, dignity, and the urgent need for proper toilet facilities, particularly in coastal communities where open defecation remains a challenge. I bring you the report.
Well, this may not be new to some, but just imagine being at an event well-dressed. Suddenly you feel some discomfort in your stomach. After a long search, you manage to find a place, but unfortunately, it is in a very bad state. On top of it all, there are no tissues or toilet rolls to be used. What will you do?
When you are going soft, you see physics and other things, so you have to jump them before you go there, so it's never a very good distance crowd.
I was coming from Accra, and there is a queue before getting a car. I don't want to go to demonstration too, because I will not feel comfortable. But the way I couldn't even sit, I had to rush there, and then I couldn't even get to that place, and then I just...
World Toilet Day, celebrated annually on November 19, is a global initiative aimed at raising awareness about the sanitation crisis affecting millions worldwide. According to the WHO UNICEF 2023 report, 3.5 billion people still live without safely managed sanitation, including 419 million who practice open defecation. In Ghana, 1.4 million urban households are without access to water on their premises. Almost 500,000 households in urban areas did not have a toilet facility and were practicing open defecation, while 1.3 million used public toilet facilities.
The toilet itself is a barrier between humans and then harmful waste that is released from us after eating. So if I have any cholera, I have dysentery, and I practice open defecation, what I'm trying to do is that I'm trying to expose the general public to this disease as well. If some way, somehow, it finds its way into our mouth, we'll end up actually having this disease, like this current outbreak of cholera.
One household, one toilet facility, an initiative managed by the Accra Metropolitan Assembly AMA, was to put up sanitation infrastructure to address the issue of open defecation in coastal areas. The public relations officer of the AMA provided an update on the project's progress over the past 5 years.
A total of 5,457 of these household toilets have been constructed so far, and for us as an assembly, it has gone a long way to help in reducing issues of open defecation, especially along the coast.
Safe toilets for all is one of the targets of Sustainable Development Goals to be achieved by 2030.
That'll be all for the morning news. Many thanks for joining us this morning. But New Day continues right after the breather. My name is Safwa Bwahine. Let's do this again.